Hello, everyone. Cole here with episode 30 of Questions for Cole. It's November 25th, 2020. I have a couple of questions from a few weeks ago that I had put on hold while answering other ones, so I'm going to play catch up today and answer those too. And then I have a fun quiz for you at the end of this episode. First to the questions. The first one was, Cole, did you have a career before being called to the ministry? Well, not a career, but I did have many part-time jobs and other interests along the way, so let me share some of those with you. When I was first starting out at university, I had not felt the call to ministry yet, so I had a couple of different careers in mind at that point. And in my first year of university, I took some courses associated with both of those possibilities. One was geography. I had a geography teacher in mind as a career. I've always loved geography, especially maps. So I took quite a few geography courses and ended up majoring in geography for my undergrad degree. The other interest was accounting, believe it or not. I've always loved math and numbers, so I took some accounting courses and even some economics courses during my first year. And they were okay. I decided sometime during that first year of university that geography was more interesting than accounting, although I still really love numbers and spreadsheets. And then, not long after that, I felt called to the ministry, so that changed my focus from then on, and I began the journey into ministry. Before that, and in the midst of all that, I had some very strange part-time jobs along the way. I delivered chicken for a fast food joint. I worked at a miniature golf course. I worked at a drugstore, a couple of restaurants. I cut grass one summer, 8 hours a day. That was awful. That confirmed for me that I wasn't cut out for a career that involved a lot of manual labor. My other least favorite job was joining the painting crew for a school division one summer, painting walls, ceilings, setting up scaffolding, painting bathrooms, more walls, more ceilings, classrooms, offices, more walls, more ceilings. The ceiling of a gymnasium, that was a lot of painting. I don't really like painting. I'm not sure why I applied for that job in the first place, but you got to work, right? I had many other jobs along the way too. I worked in a library for a while. I worked at a bookstore for a number of years. I worked at a movie rental place one summer. That was interesting, and a few others too. Now you might be thinking, wow, this guy couldn't keep a job. But that's not true. I never got fired, not once. And some of those jobs were longer term than others. But they were all means to an end, and that was getting through university and theological college and into the career that I felt called to, still feel called to. Thanks for the question. The second question was, Cole, with all of the negatives that have come out of COVID-19, have you had any positives? Well, there have certainly been a lot of negatives, haven't there? But I do have to tell you that the answer to that question for me is yes. Definitely yes. Certainly yes. And all of those positives are in the same category. And that is the way that I've seen or read about or witnessed in some way people reaching out in ways that they haven't before, or reaching out more than they ever have before. Not everyone, mind you. Some people have gone the other way. I guess that's just the way we are as humans with free will. Sometimes we choose the good and see the opportunity, and other times we miss it or we pull into ourselves. But I've seen so much more sharing in families, friendships strengthened, new relationships fostered in all sorts of ways. A few of the ministry sites that I'm part of have exploded with so many more posts and articles and messages, people checking in with each other, offering help and support, asking questions, telling their stories. And I think that's happening in many other professions too, people finding new ways to build each other up and to lift themselves up in the process. That doesn't solve all the problems, obviously, and unfortunately not everyone is as connected as the next person, and there are always going to be people who are left out. But if I'm focusing on the positives, it's not hard to see that for many people this difficult and challenging time has been met with a kind of new resolve to find new ways to keep connected, maybe even improve some connections and relationships. So many stories I've heard about people reaching out to a neighbor in a way they hadn't before, or to an aunt or uncle who lives alone, or a cousin they haven't connected with in forever. People doing a good deed for someone they know or someone they don't know. And I haven't even touched on those who have learned a new skill or spent some time feeding their soul with something they didn't have time for before. Books or crafts or painting or meditation or music. There are a lot of those stories too. But just focusing on outreach and caring for one another, compassion, friendship, connections, there's a lot of positives. I hope they continue even after we're able to get back to normal. Thanks for the questions. And now for my fun quiz. I've been having fun with our confirmation and adult membership class the past 3 weeks with fun quizzes each session. This one doesn't have anything to do with church or confirmation. It's just that I've been having so much fun with fun quizzes that I wanted to share one with all of you too. So this one is one of those brain teasers that we found the other day, and we thought it would be a good challenge for you all. I'm going to hold up a piece of paper in a moment with 4 brain teasers on it. The category is, can you name these Manitoba towns? There may or may not be a prize for the winner. And I'll show some more of these over the next few weeks, and there may or may not be a grand prize for the person who sends in the most correct answers. So email me your answers, and good luck. My email is cole@selkirkunitedchurch.ca. And no cheating. Here it is. That was even harder than I thought if I hold it upside down. You can always pause the screen if you haven't had time to take a look at all those. Okay. That's it for this week. Send in your answers, and I hope that every one of you has a great week. See you next time. God bless.